Clark situation. Now they got players coming out and saying Caitlin Clark needs to share her MVP with Kelsey Mitchell if she wins. Or if Kelsey wins, she needs to share her MVP with Caitlin, co-MVP.
Co-MVPs? Are we actually having this conversation right now? When players inside a franchise's own circle start publicly floating the idea that a generational superstar needs to split individual honors with her teammate, it exposes a massive operational divide.
Guys, there has been stats proving that when Caitlin Clark scores over 30 points, the Fever has a 90% chance of winning. When Kelsey Mitchell scores over 30 points, they have like a 40% chance of winning, bro. Like, what more are we talking about?
That split in winning probability tells the entire story. A 90% win rate when Caitlin Clark explodes for 30 points compared to a sub-50% conversion rate for Kelsey Mitchell is not just a quirky statistical anomaly. It is the defining metric of how gravity and playmaking alter a team's actual ceiling. Yet somehow, the messaging coming out of Indianapolis continues to blur those lines. But if you think an internal co-MVP narrative is the only thing threatening to derail this team's momentum, wait until you see how veteran players across the league are framing the entire award criteria. The shift happening behind closed doors goes way beyond a single team chemistry issue.
But for A'ja Wilson to even be in an MVP conversation lets me know they want her to be Michael Jordan. They want A'ja Wilson, to me, she's doing the same thing she does every year. She's stat pat too. They're like, that's all she doing. That's all they keep doing. Caitlin Clark ain't stat.
The argument being pushed here hits at the very core of how greatness is evaluated in modern sports. When a player consistently posts heavy box score numbers in a system built entirely around her traditional post touches, it creates a comforting baseline for voters who favor nostalgia. Calling that pattern stat padding might sound harsh, but the contrast couldn't be starker. Caitlin Clark is altering defense schemes 40 feet away from the basket, manipulating double teams, and creating open looks for everyone else on the floor. Comparing traditional block and post production to multi-category floor control completely ignores how modern pacing drives winning basketball.
So, if you guys do not know, and I'm going to play some of this audio of Ty Harris too. I'm going to play her segment. But it's being reported that the first ever co-WNBA MVPs, Ty Harris says her Fever teammate Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell both deserve the title. She stated, I think they deserve it, both of them. Nobody wants to be co-MVP, but hey, I'm going to throw it out there. Now,
when an active roster player openly suggests splitting the league's top individual honor between two teammates, it sends shockwaves through the locker room. Ty Harris putting that idea into the public sphere isn't just harmless locker room praise. It signals that the organization has failed to establish a clear hierarchy on the floor. In professional sports, ambiguity around leadership breeds friction. When management doesn't draw a clear line about who the franchise player is, players naturally fill that void with diplomatic answers that end up undermining their primary star on the national stage.
Sydney Colson. Listen to what Sydney Colson said today.
Who's your MVP?
My MVP? Probably A'ja.
Come on, bro.
I think A'ja.
Sydney Colson pointing directly to A'ja Wilson for MVP highlights the deep-rooted establishment bias across the WNBA ecosystem. The concept of greatness fatigue is constantly brought up to shield returning champions from criticism, but it rarely gets applied fairly across different styles of play. When media figures and rival players cite fatigue as a reason to keep handing awards to traditional post players, they are effectively dismissing the revolutionary impact of high-usage guards. It reveals a clear resistance to shifting the league's identity toward perimeter-dominant, high-paced basketball.
Go down the timeline. The Las Vegas Aces was supposed to be up under investigation for cheating with their salaries to even have the super team that they had. We all forgot about that damn investigation. Y'all don't remember the investigation on how they was getting under the table money to pay A'ja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, all they big three. They had been doing.
To understand why this establishment bias runs so deep, you have to look back at how super teams in this league were constructed and protected over recent years. The Las Vegas Aces built a dominant core under head coach Becky Hammon that captured back-to-back titles and consolidated awards around a specific style of play. When a franchise establishes that kind of stranglehold on the league's narrative, it sets a standard that voters become comfortable defending. The officiating, the media coverage, and the institutional backing naturally lean toward preserving that status quo rather than embracing a new playstyle that turns traditional roster construction on its head.
I just think that that's gonna be something that's not seen for a long time. Like we've had the like 6'3", 6'4" point centers and other people who have, like the Stewies, the Fee almost got it, but Candace Parker in the past, Asia, they're kind of a mold that isn't around.
Right. So it's the old-fashioned style of basketball.
The structural difference between a classical 6'4" front-court anchor and a dynamic logo-range playmaker represents a massive generational divide. Players like Candace Parker and Brianna Stewart carved out legendary careers by dominating inside the paint and executing traditional sets. Reinforcing that classic mold year after year keeps the game locked in a bygone era. Basketball fans today are not tuning in by the millions to watch grind-it-out post-ups and mid-range ISOs. The global surge in fan engagement is being driven by long-range shooting, fast-break wizardry, and elite court vision.
Why would they keep rewarding this same fashion? We want to see logo threes, bro. We want to see Kyrie Irving type moves, bro. We want to see you shooting it from half court. Don't nobody give a care about no damn forward center. Don't nobody care about none of that shit. That's old. That's the old way.
Anymore, so you may not see it, but
old.
Rewarding the exact same traditional style of play repeatedly creates an environment where true innovation gets devalued. It is the equivalent of an artist winning top honors year after year for producing the same formulaic track while groundbreaking records get pushed to the side. Michael Jordan's championship runs with the Chicago Bulls and the Lakers' back-to-back titles were defined by an unstoppable dominance that forced the entire league to adapt to them. They didn't win because the system protected their style. They won because their output left zero room for debate. When award voters rely on legacy bias to shield traditional play styles, it cheapens the prestige of the honor itself.
Get the most out of it, especially like you guys have a lot of
I mean, like, you got to take the time that you get, honestly, because season comes fast and things are back to back to back, and we just came from a long road trip ourselves. So, I mean, if we get a couple of time, I'm going to take that for sure. You don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take my time.
What do you think of these last 5 games is the most important thing?
Taking time off during mid-season breaks requires elite discipline, especially when a team is trying to forge an identity under intense public scrutiny. Ty Harris pointing out the fast pace of the schedule highlights how vital these practice windows are for a roster that still looks disjointed during key possessions. When players return from these breaks, the expectation is that execution tightens and defensive assignments become second nature. But if internal messaging remains split on who leads the team on the floor, no amount of gym time can resolve the underlying tension in high-pressure moments.
Lexi talked about staying focused mentally and making sure the first game back breaks doesn't feel like the first game back this season.
Yeah.
How do you stay focused mentally through these breaks?
Honestly, we're a pro, so at the end of the day, even if we are going on vacation or taking our time, like, I'm going to be working out. I feel like everybody's going to be working out, getting in the gym, making sure that our conditioning stays well. And then we have a week and a half of practice or 2 weeks when we come back from our vacations too. So, like, we'll be working out the entire time, so it's not.
Staying mentally locked in over extended breaks separates disciplined contender squads from teams that collapse down the stretch. A week and a half of practice allows coaching staff to refine defensive fists and lock in baseline plays, but execution under stress comes down to player alignment. If the core group isn't completely unified on their roles, those practice sessions only serve as a temporary band-aid. Building real momentum going into the final stretch of the season requires total buy-in from every single person on the roster, starting with the veteran leadership.
You've had a lot of good players in your career, but this year you're almost always trying to force one of Caitlin and Kelsey. Does it change your approach in the way you attack or what you do?
I mean, they're amazing. Sometimes when I watch them, I posted a picture the other day, like, my face is like they're sick. So it's just amazing because they draw a lot of attention, so it makes it easier on us, our role players, to, find our groove and get our offense going as well. But also, too, just like on the defense side, like, we got to make sure that we're handling our business and helping them.
Role players thrive when gravity pulls defenders away from the perimeter, creating wide-open lanes and high-percentage catch-and-shoot opportunities. The attention drawn by elite playmakers makes life significantly easier for everyone else on the floor. However, benefiting from that gravity while simultaneously downplaying the primary creator's singular impact creates a bizarre dynamic. Role players cannot expect to reap the benefits of spacing and defensive focus without acknowledging who generates those advantages in the first place.
I mean, we're going to be ecstatic. I mean, I think they deserve it, both of them. I mean, nobody wants to be cold, but hey, I'm going to throw it out there. It's hard for them, so it'll be amazing just to have them because they definitely do deserve it.
Thank you, guys.
So there you guys have it. Ty Harris said that there should be co-MVPs. Get down in the comments.
Pushing a co-MVP narrative from within the same locker room is a symptom of a front office that has failed to manage external noise and clarify internal roles. When players go on record advocating to split individual honors, it doesn't demonstrate teamwork. It exposes an organization that lacks direction at the top. Caitlin Clark's impact on viewership, attendance, offensive efficiency, and overall court control has completely transformed the franchise's profile overnight. Trying to dilute that reality to appease legacy dynamics or preserve hurt feelings is a recipe for long-term dysfunction. Does the Indiana Fever front office need to intervene and establish clear leadership, or is this internal co-MVP debate a sign of deeper roster tension that will carry over into next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more retention-tuned sports commentary.